Otep, Black Power, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Also, giving honor to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul, the Street Law Soldiers. Honor to my family, my father, my in-laws, and my comrades who are also in the ancestral realm as we speak. And to you all, brothers and sisters, who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of the black nation. There's a few things that I want to discuss. First of all, I want to discuss the situation with your President Donald Stump Dump Trump. This motherfucker, man, I believe he's not gonna resign. So people can get that out of their heads about him just resigning. But I think he's gonna get impeached. I believe he's gonna be impeached. But at the same time, it's gonna be a lot of confusion because he's gonna throw a lot of people under the bus. Some people may go to jail behind him, because for number one, this shit about the Let's Make America Great Again. Because Ford is about, now, the auto industry is that's like the heartbeat, the pulse, of American industry, in the world. And the Ford is about to lay off 20,000 people. So that Let's Make America Great Again bullshit, that's about to go, clear out the window, and he's about to, and that was the distraction from the OJ. See what they did? They put that OJ shit on national TV while Sessions and all this bullshit went down in Congress to throw people off. So by the time this shit hit the fan, you'll catch the brunt end of the shit, and as always, we don't watch news. When we read the paper, all we look at is who got shot, who got, how many points such and such hit, who the Mayweather fight this month, and that's the brunt of it. Nobody looks at the editorials. Nobody reads world news, which is the main thing you should read. And that determines what's going to happen to the generations ahead of us. Let me just look at, because Trump shit, it really deflects, the dysfunctional, distorted, and unreasonable and unethnical views that this motherfucker had. Because people really didn't love Trump per se. They loved the views that they loved his views and his ideas that he stood on, which is, the distorted bullshit and this warped thinking. And this goddamn John Wayne motherfucking mentality. There's some of these, some of these trailer park, barbaric fucking crackers, the state of mind that they in. But nevertheless, they have a town in South Africa called Orania. It's an all-white town. No blacks allowed. Now, there's two towns in South Africa where no blacks are allowed to reside. Period. And it's not ironic or coincidental or incidental that these towns were established the same year Nelson Mandela was released from prison. So, in other words, the same year Nelson Mandela was out, by him not, part of his refusal and afraid to stand up for the redistribution of the wealth in South Africa. Not only that, he gave crackers their own goddamn towns. And it was on a hush-hush basis. Now these motherfucking towns have kind of flourished to some descent, you know, to the white caveman's taste, to his level of living. You know, because he's a motherfucking savage. So he come out of the goddamn caves, you know, of Europe. So, you know, and I watch footage of that shit, you know, and it's not too much different. And they enjoy living like the savage living. That savage motherfucking culture. You know, you know, washing clothes with rocks and all that bullshit. You know, that's the nature of them. You know, that's the nature of them. Taking a motherfucking stick, throwing it through a motherfucking dog, and then cooking his motherfucking ass without taking the fur off the motherfucker. You know that type of you know, that type of savage motherfucking thinking. But nevertheless, they have 2 all-white towns where the black population is 0. You know, not only that, there are 3 cities in the United States where the black population is 0. 2 of them are in Texas. No one says anything about that. But if it was a black city with all blacks and no whites, not only would they not go in there, you know, and exploit them, they would probably blow the fucking town up. You know, but we don't say anything about that because we are so, you know, we are so goddamn docile and so fucked up. You know, and it's a goddamn shame. If you look at Chancellor Williams' books, Destruction of Black Civilization, as well as the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and you will see how it is explained, and Amos Wilson, Blueprint for Black Power, you will see that the 3 of them mainly talk about one of the things that has locked and stock and barrel the minds and hearts and spirits of black people, which is Christianity. Which is Christianity. Every other race that has refused to let go of their culture, let go of their ethnics, you know, let go of their way of thinking, let go of that has held on to their ethics, that has held on to their culture, that has held on to their spirituality, have flourished in that area. All races, with the exception of the black race. You know, Christianity, which was forced on us, indoctrinated to us, and we have not let it go. We have not let that go yet. You know, you know, because once again, like I said, Christianity plays a huge role in the destruction of black civilization. You know, because like once again, every race that has rejected Christianity has prospered and persevered. You know, only the people who have allowed Christianity and practiced Christianity remain at the bottom of the barrel. And I'm talking about in all areas. And I'm just paraphrasing some of the stuff that you know, some of my notes, you know, of how that religion has you know, has destroyed us. You know, because in other words, you know, in the 1700s, China let go. Christianity was banned in China. In the 1600s, the Japanese banned Christianity in Japan. You know, even in India, Hinduism is the major religion, the major spiritual practice. Christianity has 2% of parishioners in that whole country. The other 14% is Islam. And we're the only people who have not let go of this indoctrinated religion and this way of thinking, and we refuse to embrace the spiritual principles and the spiritual culture that we were brought on the planet with. And we're at the bottom of everything. I mean, I wonder how people can, you know, if you talk to a person and say, you know, Christianity was forced on our people were forced to believe this. And you know, most of our people would say, you know, yeah, you're right, it was forced on our great-grandparents and all this. But you still practice it. You know, now that you know they were tricked and it was beaten into them, they didn't want to practice this. This is what you fail to realize. They did not want to practice this. And it's just like in Roots. In Roots, when guys said, you know, my name is Kuta Kente, and they beat Toby into him. It was the same way with religion. When they were hollering for all the deities. You know, Yemunya, Olodumare, you know, Babaluaye, you know, Shango, you know, and they were saying, no, motherfucker, Jesus Christ, the white Jesus, motherfucker, you know, and it's the same shit, but we still dishonor our ancestors by still fucking with Christianity. We dishonor the ancestors by believing in that shit, by practicing that bullshit. You know, and I'm not gonna go around spending my life trying to, you know, show people, you know, the damage that Christianity has done to our people in the last 5 fucking centuries. You know, because we are people, we love the white man. We believe that white man. And I don't give a damn what none of y'all say about, you know, when I pray to Jesus, I see a black man. You a goddamn lie. You a goddamn lie. How can you see a black man when you were born and raised to see a white man? And you ain't not gonna tell me overnight you see a black man. That's bullshit. Yeah, you know, that's bullshit. You can't tell me that. You know. And what are you so afraid of? Let me just ask the people that practice this, because you lie and you try to make this religion appear to be real and all this shit, you know. But why are you afraid to step out of the realm of Christianity when you know that's not your religion? That's, you know, this shit it never existed. These people never existed, and you know this, but you refuse to move out of there because you refuse to exit and go to your real cultural spirituality. We didn't have a religion. We were the religion. We were the gods. We are the gods and goddesses. Everything that you read about that cracker has written, you know, because the cracker wrote that. You know, no black man wrote that. No, nobody. You know, and then they say the motherfucker was inspired by God. Now King James, who, you know, beheaded his mother after he, you know, had sex with her and raped his mother and raped all those little boys, but then he was inspired by God to write a book. And we're the only ones that follow that shit. We're the only ones that actually believe that shit. And we will defend King James. You know, some of y'all say, well, King James was black. I don't give a fuck what color he was. His behavior ain't got nothing to do with how, you know, what color he is. You know, pedophile's a pedophile. So so if we know this is the one of the vices that keeps holding us back from black liberation, why do we still embrace it? Why do we still put faith in something that doesn't exist, hoping that it will work? You know, and then a lot of y'all, you put this white Jesus before your husband. Some of you do it, you put him before your children and your father and your husband and your family. You know, because, you know, what it is, you know, when you see your brother, you see yourself. And by post-traumatic slavery, having so much of a grip, a vice grip on your spirit, it won't allow you, you know, to see the real you. You know, that self-hatred is deep. It runs very, very deep. You know, and all black families deal with levels of self-hatred and post-traumatic slave syndrome. You know, because you have families that, you know, I'm not going to talk to him. Siblings won't speak to each other because they're not Christians or they're not Muslims or they don't practice this or practice that. You know, they don't, you know, because you don't practice this man-made bullshit, this mythology, you know, then you are destined and you become a demon. So you're calling yourself a demon. You're calling yourself demonic because, once again, when you look at your brother, you're looking at you.
Yeah, she got it, Petey.
So, you know, we have to wake up out of that bullshit, man. You know, and this is the thing when it comes to the black family. You know, the jealousy, you know, the self-hatred. You know, and that, like I said, post-traumatic slave syndrome runs deep in the black community, in the black family. You know, where we don't want to see each other grow, we don't want to see each other prosper. You know, we don't want to see each other, you know, rise above, you know, deplorable thinking, deplorable conditions. You know, and when you become in full knowledge of self. You know, that, you know, the jealousy is so, and it's so clandestine, meaning it's so secretive, you know, that you think it doesn't exist. And it's bad enough that we have to deal with this shit on the outside the family, in the community, and then not only that, dealing with the global system of racism, white supremacy. You know, and I'm just gonna say something personally about me. Personally, I'm not gonna fall into the grips of being no coon. I'm not gonna compromise what I stand on, because too many of our ancestors, too many of our relatives have fought and died and gave their lives for us to be here today. For me to just roll over and lay down and just, you know, and just take white supremacy on the chin. The Creator and the ancestors will not allow that to happen. And so I represent them. And without them, it would be no me. And that's what confuses me with this religion shit. If you look in any of those books and look for somebody that you know that was related to you, directly related to you, you will not find it in any of those books. Any of those books, you will not find it. But you will stand on the corner and you will argue people down in defense of that fucking bullshit, man. In defense of that religion. You know, you will go fisticuffs fighting for a non-existent deity, a goddamn story. You will fight for a story because no one can bring any evidence that any of those people that you read about in any of those books existed. Now, if somebody was supposed to have been the greatest man that ever existed, it would be so. It would be only common sense. There will be so many shrines and so much evidence and buildings and what have you, resurrected in the name of those individuals or that individual. Because they have it for other individuals. But see, the way we justify that is to say those people were demonic. Now, why would someone want to resurrect something, one of the wonders of the world, like the pyramid, that can't be reduplicated, one of the wonders of the world of mankind, and say it's demonic? And that's saying that whatever God that you believe in is cursed. See, a lot of this shit makes sense to you. You just don't want it to make sense because, and I'll tell you something else too about religion. A lot of you you really know the truth, but you're afraid. That's what it is, and ashamed to step forward. And I've known a lot of people that when they began to practice African spirituality and they let go of all religions, if they were in a relationship, the first thing that, or if they were incarcerated, the first thing people say that, it was either fear or they're doing it because their husband is doing it, and then the husband is forcing that on the wife and all this type of stuff, and so a lot of you have this false pride where you don't want to even, you want to please people that are stuck in their own ignorance because you know the truth. So, to keep someone from saying something so they won't say that you're practicing these principles because of somebody else, instead of being thankful that someone came in that individual's life and raised their level of consciousness. Because most people who say that don't have anyone to do that to them. And I know I'm making sense. I know I'm correct. So just think about it. When you by yourself and you know that everything that you've been practicing, the shit don't be adding up. It doesn't add up. And you just call on your ancestors and ask them, for guidance. Ask the Creator for guidance. It doesn't mean that you don't believe in a supreme being. Come on. That's an excuse people use when you let go of religion. Oh, you don't believe in God. Well, the word God was made by man. Man made that name up. I believe in the Creator. I believe what you could call them what you want. I believe it's a God, goddess. A universal supreme God, a creator of all things. And the people that been sent down here, to liberate the minds and hearts of the original people. We are the original people. We are the first people. Everybody come from us. Stop hating yourselves. And as always, I give shout outs to all the people that I always shout out. People at the Glut. Professor, the professor, Bobby. Man, my mind was so clicking. That I almost forgot his last name. Bobby Beverly. Ramon Thompson, Michael Gray. my brother Jerome in Baltimore, my brother Milana, all my relatives, my daughter, grandchildren, my queen, especially Queen Nzinga, who was a pivotal point, you know, in my growth and development in terms of me, staying on the path of education and African spirituality, and all my in-laws, all my loved ones, those I didn't mention, forgive me. I'll get you on the next round. But this is about black liberation, and it's not really about shout-outs all the time. This is not Soul Train, So, till we meet again, brothers and sisters, Hotep, Black Power.